Hey, how's it going, everybody? BurntBrian here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Hopinator, which is a spicy barbecue sauce from Cobra Chilli. So, let's start the show. It is always a pleasure to get to try a new Cobra Chilli hot sauce, and to give you a little bit of a story about Cobra Chilli, I actually got to meet the owner back in 2016. I was invited to go to St. Augustine, Florida, which is a good little ways from where I live now, about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. And I got to go to their hotel room where he and his partner Lisa were staying. And I got to try the entire lineup of Cobra Chilli sauces before anybody else did. I mean, it was everything from mild all the way up to super hot. And I'll tell you, Cobra Chilli really does produce some incredibly super hot sauces. And one of the great things I love about them is it's always all natural. There's a lot of really good ingredients in there. Of course, I'll have a link down below in the description where you can go and check out their US store, which has some of their hot sauces, got a good selection of both mild and hot stuff. And then if you're lucky, like I was, occasionally you might be able to get a deal with them where they're going to be coming to the US from Australia, and you might get a chance to try some of their exclusive to Australia only sauces, meaning they'll bring it with them if you place an order, and they'll make sure they ship it out to you once they get here to the States. And that's what we're looking at today. That's one of those sauces. This is their Hopinator barbecue sauce. It's supposed to be a hot barbecue sauce. This was a collaboration done between Cobra Chilli and Sydney Brewery. I may not be saying it right, but I know it was a collaboration between the two of them. This has won a couple different awards. If you want to learn more about it, you can definitely go to their website, check out on the Australia one, look at Hopinator. There's a whole story about how the two of them got together to create this specific sauce. Now, I know attention spans are short these days, so I'm going to keep this video rather short as well. What we're going to do is go ahead and jump into this. We'll see how it smells. We're going to taste it. I'm going to give you all the little bits of details you want to know about this particular sauce. Like always, you want to give it a really good shake. And as far as the aroma goes, it does have your typical barbecue sauce, but I can smell the heat in there. There's definitely something pretty super spicy in there. If I'm not mistaken, this one has black habaneros in it, which is obviously a pretty spicy one. Habaneros are a weird pepper. They tend to burn mostly on the tongue. Like for me anyway, I feel like pins and needles in the front of the mouth, not so much in the back. Maybe just a little touch, but the back always seems to fade away pretty quick. In the aroma, you're getting those tomato notes. I'm getting, which are typical barbecue kind of stuff. I'm getting the molasses. There's a sweetness in there. So there's a fruit, if I'm not mistaken. There's pineapple in this. I'm hoping I'm guessing that right. Of course, as always, no preservatives, no artificial flavors, no artificial colors, and there is real beer added. So this has a beer from Sydney Brewery. It's a porter, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, smells great. As far as the consistency goes, I'll tell you that when it was first opened and it was warm, it was more of a liquid or a fluid consistency, which is what it still kind of has a bit. It's thickened up some since it's been in the refrigerator. I know for me personally, I like a thicker barbecue sauce because if I'm going to be cooking some meat, I want the sauce to really coat and stick to it. So when you're grilling out, you don't have to baste too often and that flavor just locks in and is coated on the outside. But it looks really good. I think I can actually see even an occasional little sliver of pepper in there. So I'm sure it's going to be pretty spicy. Definitely a decent consistency as well. How does it taste? That's the most important thing, right? What's it taste like? Yeah. So it's like a fusion barbecue and hot sauce kind of thing. Because boy, it sure does pack a punch of heat up front. My tolerance has gone pretty down. I haven't been eating a lot of super hots lately or super hot sauces. Most of mine have been more in the medium range because I've gotten away from the fad that everyone was in with eating super hot stuff just to try to impress people about what kind of heat tolerance you can take. I've eaten the world's hottest pepper and a bunch of others. I don't need it to prove anything else to anyone. It's all about flavor and how you can use that in food. So for this one, it's definitely one that I think the burn's already starting to go away. There's just a little bit of a tickle in the back of the throat, mostly the roof of the mouth, a little bit of heat forward. But you really do get the tomato flavor and you get that sweetness in there. You get all of the, barbecue and hot sauce kind of fusions that you would expect flavor wise. Made in Australia from at least 91% Australia ingredients. This was actually really good. I think for me personally, it may not be one that I would use in a lot of barbecues, but I know here soon as the weather starts warming up a little bit in Florida, I'm going to be experimenting a little bit more out on the grill. Maybe I'll share some recipes. And I think this would go pretty well with a few different varieties. For me, this would be better maybe with pork. More so than the beef. I personally like just the flavor of beef, the juice, the blood, whatever you're getting out of that cut that you're cooking. I don't really like to add a whole lot to my beef when I'm grilling, but something like pork or chicken, this might go absolutely amazing with. I guess as far as what I would rate this for flavor, we'll start there. Flavor-wise, I would give this a solid 7 out of 10. You know, it has a lot of typical barbecue flavors that I like, and I do see that there's some versatility. I think that maybe it could be a little better if it was thickened up some, or maybe toned down just a little bit on the heat. It would be something more for the average person, and maybe they have more of a medium variety of this. I think if you offered this in a couple different heat levels, it would be good for, you know, average Joes, and then this would be something more for the true spicy lover that wants heat in every bite. As far as the heat goes on this, I would give it a 3 out of 10. It's nothing incredible. The burn's pretty much gone. There's still just a little lingering bit in the roof of my mouth, but otherwise it's nothing overbearing. I think if you're just someone who finds a habanero to be spicy, this would definitely burn you a good bit. It would be out of your typical heat range for, you know, someone who is not very tolerant to heat. But all around, it's really good. It's definitely one I would recommend. So if you guys are in the Australia area, be sure and pick it up. Again, I'll have a link to and down below in the description for both his US store as well as Australia store. So, you know, if you keep an eye out on there and follow him on Facebook as well, he'll let you know next time they're planning a trip to the US. And it's usually only on special occasions where they'll offer the opportunity to order from their Australia store and get it in the US. So just keep an eye out on their Facebook for those events. And yeah, that's about it for this one. I do always, I thank Vaughn. Thank you so much for sending these out. Really look forward to trying all of the other wonderful sauces that I have in there. I also have some curry from an Indian company that he bought that, you know, produces a lot of curries and spices. There's chutneys. And I picked up a few of those, so we'll share those in the future as well. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure and give it a big thumbs up. If you're new here, subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. If you have any comments, I always love chatting with you, so drop those down below in the comments. And as always, stay toasty, my friends. We'll see you in the next video.